Welcome to Draw One Last Breath Horror Podcast. My name's Matt.
I'm Butch.
I'm Jolly Paul.
Welcome to episode 171. On this episode, we have been to the cinema to watch the latest offering from Robert Eggers, Nosferatu. And in our Something to Scream About, we have got our top 10 of 2024. And our movie from the vault is Stephen King's Needful Things. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. Moi. Wrong count. Right. We need to rattle through some shit, man. We got a lot to talk about today, so...
Hope you've had a nice Christmas, everyone.
I hope you had a lovely Christmas. I've appreciated all my presents. Got my lovely Jaws Lego up there. Sam Dabby Dozy. You guys had a good Christmas, New Year and all that?
Yeah, I've enjoyed my foot spa. That was lovely.
Spot on. I also got the Jaws Lego, but I haven't built mine yet, so...
Yeah. Jealous.
Lots of socks, so I'm happy. But yeah, I've had a lot of time off, so I have been watching a few bits, but I'll try and get through them quickly as I can. I watched a little movie called Look Away, which is on Amazon Prime. Not bad little movie starring, I don't know if anyone knows it, India Eastleigh and Jason Isaacs. It's alright. It's just like a timid, socially alienated 17-year-old high school student. Basically, life is turned upside down when she switches places with her sinister mirror image. And it's slutty and, a bit deafy. It's quite cool.
What was that called?
Look Away.
Look Away. And what's it on?
It's on Amazon Prime. It's not bad. Yeah, worth a watch. I watched The Well, why...
Oh, you watched it?
Why did you recommend... I don't know if we were waiting for it, or were we waiting for it? Is it the fact that it starred Lauren Laverda or whatever her name, terrified chick? It was a good watch, though.
It's not amazing. I mean, it's got some weird bits in it and stuff, but I thought some of the effects are really cool in it, and quite gruesome.
Did you watch
it? It's not the most amazing thing.
Did you watch it, Jordy Paul?
No, I didn't.
It's got a lot of giallo in it. Nods to giallo.
Along with a bit of Hostel, I thought.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
I watched a cute little movie as well with Mel Gibson and the little boy from Black Phone called Monster Summer. Quite little, almost Monster Club-esque movie. It's very kid-friendly.
I've never heard of that, and there's probably a reason why.
It was out last year. There's a new one. Monster Summer. It's on Amazon Prime for free. Sit there with your kids and watch it. It's not too spooky. It's got the kid from the Sandlot kids in it as well.
Well, he's not a kid anymore.
It's a cast that you'll go, what the fuck is she doing in it? What the hell is she doing in it? Kevin James pops up. The woman,
Dude, you're not selling this to me at all.
I was going to say all the superstars.
Yeah.
Did I mention Mel Gibson? The shrink from Sopranos is in it.
Christ.
There you go. Go and watch Monster Summer.
Probably not, but yeah.
Alright, that's what I've been watching.
Jordy Paul?
Well, I had a bit of a break away from horror, to be honest, guys, after consuming a lot of it in 2024. So I kind of watched a few bits, but not really horror. But what I did watch and reach for the upcoming episode was the original Nosferatu.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, shit. Where did you catch that?
Where did I watch it? I bought it off Apple TV, Apple Store, the App Store, for a couple of quid. I rented it. Sorry. I don't really want to talk about it too much because we'll be trending it in a bit.
Does it mirror what we watched at the cinema?
No,
with no dialogue.
Yeah, some definite nods to. Well, the basic story is the same, but it's basically Dracula anyway. You can see it is. You can see where basically why it's classed as a cinematic sort of masterpiece, and you can see where a lot of horror films have kind of copied the structure of the film. Obviously, I know it's silent, but still, it's. You can see a lot of sort of tropes that we now know and love, which were built upon that sort of bedrock. So for all that, it's obviously brilliant. So yeah, definitely worth a watch though, guys, to brush up on your cinematic history. But yeah, very good. But that was it. Was it, horror. So
Matt, what about you?
I have not, again, watched too much horror. I did watch a comedy which is a bit horror-esque. Is a Jack Black film called Dear Santa, where a little boy writes to Santa, but he's dyslexic, so he writes Satan instead. And
I saw that trailer.
I've seen the trailer.
And it is actually quite funny because it's not really. I thought, is it a kids' film? It's not a kids' film because the jokes are really like dark, some of them. And it's done by, I think, maybe one of the Farrelly brothers, maybe. Not sure. But it's worth a watch. Maybe pencil it in for next Christmas now. But it was definitely funny. It had funny bits. So definitely worth a watch of that. Me and my daughter sat down and watched The Wizard of Oz.
Cute.
Definitely horror elements in that.
Well, I could add to that. Me and Isabel sat down and watched Neverending Story.
Terrifying.
Very terrifying. Other than that, I haven't really watched anything else apart from Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, that I think you watched.
I watched that.
Awesome.
Which was good fun.
Very good.
Great fun. But yeah, that's about it from me.
Gavin and Stacey Christmas special count? No?
That was horrific, yeah.
As a horrific comment, yes.
Alright, sweet. Okay, moving on. What's going on? What's going on in 2025? We got any news for the 2025?
I would like to kind of, unfortunately start with a bit of bad news. Obviously, one of my favourite movies over Christmas is to watch Black Christmas. And sadly, Olivia Hussey died, just after Christmas, which is, it's sad any time. But, she was brilliant. I thought she was excellent in that film. And I absolutely love it. And it's really sad that she died, but massive, massive talent gone too soon.
Yeah.
And also, you boys would probably remember from the Romeo and Juliet, because how could you forget? Because us boys at school, we watched that, and there was some breasts in it. And we were like, oh my God!
Nudie boobies?
Before.
Nudie boobies?
I can't comment on it.
Everybody got so excited.
Underage nudie boobies, which she unsuccessfully sued for. She's also in it. Remember, she was Bill's wife in it.
Bill's wife in it. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Series. So yeah, rest in peace, Olivia Hussey.
Yeah.
Netflix has been announced. Netflix are developing 3 new Fear Street films. So there's a new trilogy of Fear Street films coming, which is quite cool because we quite enjoyed the first 3. So yeah.
One of them was titled Prom Queen, if I remember rightly.
Ooh.
And then the last only bit of the news I've got, which is one from Matt really, is we watched it this year. The Coffee Table is getting a Turkish remake. God knows, guys. God knows. But that. Did it need a remake? Did it? No. Dread to think what they're going to do with it. But if people haven't seen that film, then it's definitely a shock to the system. So, I thought I'd stick that one in there for Matt. But that's all my news.
No comment. I've got one last bit of news. So you boys remember at Fright Fest, we watched a little snippet of a TV show about 2 lads trying to basically get a selection of nasty horror movies.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Video Nasty, was it?
Yeah. It's called Video Nasty. It's actually been announced it's going to be on BBC 3. And I think they're showing the first 2 episodes. They're half-an-hour episodes. 10 o'clock, BBC 3. I don't know when the date is, sorry.
You fucking know that.
We'll get on catch up on BBC 3 iPlayer, I would imagine. But yeah, I really want to see that because it's a 6-part episode thing, which looks good. Comedy drama starring Billy and Con set out to acquire the final tape in a banned cult video collection. First episode and the second episode is available. So yeah, go watch that when you can. I'm definitely going to go and catch it.
Okay, I'm going to reel through a couple of treats to look forward to for 2025 in the next coming months. We have 2, I think it's 3 in January to look forward to. Wolfman is one of them, starring Julia Garner and Chris Abbott. I had that trailer for when we watched Nosferatu. It looks very, very cool. It's Lee Warnell's first one since The Invisible Man, so looking forward to that. We've got an original one from, Steven Soderbergh, Presence, which the trailer just makes me just think, what the fuck is going to happen? So, that's coming out on the 24th of January. And then on the 31st of January, we get Companion, starring Sophie Thatcher from Yellow Jackets, which I keep mentioning, and obviously Jack Quaid from The Boys.
Bloody Yellow Jackets.
February's looking pretty good though.
Every episode.
Yeah, well, we get Heart Eyes, that little on the 7th of February, which is like a bit of a stabby. The Gorge on the 14th of February.
That looks awesome, that trailer.
Yeah. Fucking, just evil is lurking in a gorge, and there's like 2 towers watching over them. I think it just sounds really enticing. Now, this one for me at the moment is what I'm looking forward to all year. I don't want to be let down.
Can I guess what you're going to say?
Go on.
Sinners.
No. Close.
Okay.
The Monkey is what I'm looking forward to, because.
Oh, yeah.
The latest trailer that I watched, basically, I don't know if I missed it the first time, basically said all this song and dance, and then it went, and then some fucked up shit happens. And people die in a fucked up way. I swear it said that in the trailer, and I'm like, yeah, they do. They do seem to die in a really fucked up way. So that is really good. After The Monkey, on the 7th of March, we get Sinners, starring
cool.
Michael B. Jordan.
Ryan Coogler coming out,
Yeah, and honestly, the trailer that I watched with Nosferatu just made me go, what are we going to be in for? Because it looks amazing. So yeah, all for that.
I'm thinking vampires.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it is vampires.
Ooh.
Then we get the next. I've sort of skipped April, and we got May. Final Destination: Bloodlines.
Carry on.
June, obviously, we get. I'm looking forward to 28 Years Later on the 20th. We've got I Know What You Did Last Summer out in July the 18th. August, obviously, Fright Fest. September, Conjuring Last Rites, new Conjuring. So that's going to be quite interesting. October,
a bad movie.
October sees Black Phone 2, the sequel to Black Phone. So hopefully Ethan Hawke will be coming back. And then November, apparently we're going to get Predator Badlands.
That'd probably be straight to Disney again, though, wouldn't it? Well, if they've got any freaking sense, they'd bring it out cinema.
There's a whole host of other shit that's coming out this year, including, obviously, They Follows, looks like it should be on later on in the year. We got a new Saw movie.
The next Strangers installment.
I think it's the next 2 that are out this year, possibly.
Oh my god.
They filmed them back to back, didn't they? So, Megan 2.0, yes, that's one we're really looking forward to.
And let's not forget a certain little Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, we still don't even have a fucking date. But there's loads of other sequels
coming
out.
Stranger Things, Old People's Home.
Right. We've got another Five Nights at Freddy movie. We've got another Thanksgiving movie. Another 47 Meters Down movie, what we didn't know we wanted. And another Insidious movie this year. So, lots of shit to look forward to. It's going to be a busy year, but lots of sequels and stuff. Some original, but there are a lot of add-ons, so it'll be quite interesting to see. Cool. Right. Without further ado, let's get on with our main review.
Come to me. Come to me. Hear my call. Come to me.
Okay, so this week's main review, the first main review of 2025, is Robert Eggers' latest film. Obviously, we are big fans of his, and it is Nosferatu. So, a gothic tale of obsession between a haunted young woman and a terrifying vampire infatuated with her, causing untold horror in its wake. So, obviously, this is a remake of the 1922 silent film, which in its turn is unofficially the story of Bram Stoker's Dracula, told in a slightly different way. And yeah, Robert Eggers' latest film. So what did you think, guys?
Busy cinema. So that was good. I think it's been well marketed. I really, really like this one. Really enjoy it. Really just could not stop. It just could have gone and gone for me. There was a lot to take in. It did not feel long, and it wasn't that long. It was just over 2 hours, 12 minutes, I think it was. But yeah, I felt I felt the story was familiar, and I felt that if you were going in at sort of like the age that I watched Bram Stoker's Dracula, this is just another great telling of that whole Dracula story from that great book that's written by Bram Stoker. So yeah, I got on with it. No mermaid vaginas though.
What?
Yeah, upsetting that it didn't have any mermaid vaginas, but may have made it a better film. I'm sorry, I'm only joking. I liked this film. I didn't love it. I thought it was style over substance. Some of the performances I felt were comical, as in some of the, like Aaron Taylor, what's his name?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor, I thought his accent was absolutely impeccable. Impeccable? I can't even talk.
Despicable.
Despicable. Yeah, I thought Rose Lily Depp was really good in most of the scenes, but there were a couple of scenes that I thought, what?
Or Lily Rose Depp.
What did I say?
Rose Lily Depp.
Yeah. Well, I'm dyslexic, so you can let me off on that one. But I didn't hate it by any means. I thought it was a little bit boring in places. William Dafoe playing his usual character. I think, it's been done in a lot of iterations, and yeah, I was a bit bored halfway through, to be honest. Maybe I wasn't in the right frame of mind. However, stylistic, it had its touch. The sets were absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, I just wasn't really, blown away by the storyline. And I think it could have been cut down by about 40 minutes. Mr. Stevens, sing along. Come on.
Well, I absolutely loved this, guys. I thought it was brilliant. It's the Dracula story, let's be honest. Just because it's called Nosferatu, it is Bram Stoker's Dracula, essentially, in anything but name. And I just thought it was stylistically, like Matt says, unbelievable. I thought it was shot beautifully. The sound production on it was phenomenal. The way it sounded was unreal. I thought the acting was great, mate. I don't know. Again, I thought she was unbelievable in it. Which, it's weird because in certain shots she looks like Johnny Depp, and it was kind of a bit weird. I was a bit like, whoa, hang on. But I just thought it was really, really good. I thought Nicholas Hoult was really, really good in it. Bill Skarsgård, Jesus Christ, it could have been anybody in there. It was mental how much he kind of just
mental how much CGI they used.
Well, I mean,
dick.
They did a bit like that, but a lot of it wasn't CGI, mate.
He's that tall.
I thought, yeah, I wasn't bored at all. I thought it was really, really good, and it's weird because it's kind of Robert Eggers' kind of straightest film. I thought there was hardly any craziness in it, if that makes sense. Well, for me, I was expecting some proper like mental scenes where I was about to go off on one, but no, I didn't think it had that. I really, 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 and you know what? Had jump scares in it. There was a couple of times I shot myself.
Yeah. I think you're getting me wrong. I've just said I didn't hate this movie. I just I didn't love it.
Oh well, I'm firmly in the love camp. I thought it was really, really, really good, really good. And obviously, watching Nosferatu, the original, there was a couple of without being too referential to it. There's a couple of scenes in there which we'll talk about later, which were really, really, paid homage to it and really done well. So yeah, no, I thought it was great.
So right, the love, the hate. Well, not the love, the like and the love. Okay. I can see definitely like why you would, I don't know. There was a lot of familiarity. Obviously, I was brought up on Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves. If I could draw direct
I don't know
comparisons
if
to
I've
that.
seen all that, I don't think I've seen that full movie.
Right. I mean, it's a lot longer. I think it's 142 minutes, about the same actually. But and so those tropes from the book are there. He's set in Germany, not in London, blah blah blah. I mean, we know what's avoided Demeter or whatever crap. So there's a lot of because it's a tale that's been told. It's from a book and it's been told many times and it's being told very iterations and stuff like that. So you're going to get that familiarity. For this to be this generation's Dracula tale, I think it's going to go down and stay around, to be honest. Like Nosferatu has been taken in that 1922 and still talked about this day and wanted to be remade in some sort of way by a director that's probably the best person to take it on. Like Paul said, though, this was straight. This was as straight as you kind of out of my sort of bit of a poking fun of the fact that there's no mermaid vaginas. It had some fucking moments in it. But it was gorgeous. It just looked amazing. And for me, like Lily Rose Depp, her performance, she's done a few bits and bobs, but this was just, there was no one on her level in this tale. And I think that's is quite prevalent with her versus, Count Oglov or whatever his name is. Like Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, Olok. Bill Skarsgård, like her versus Bill, because we know Bill's fucking quality. Her versus him, she fucking, and in the movie, she wiped the floor with him. He was what he was in terms of what he could do with that character, having to be very shadowy and all that sort of stuff. But she was just the physicality that she had to go through as well in some of those scenes. I just think it was wonderful. And she's quite doll-like as well. So when she was there was moments where she was almost being thrown around, I thought they were quite really interesting as well. Because she's quite
That's
doll-like.
really good. And apparently that was no camera tricks. That was actually her body. She learnt some sort of dance moves and stuff to do the contortion. I heard that on a podcast, and that's 100% true.
And I think I like the contrast between black and white and colour as well. I'm glad that it wasn't all in black and white. That would have kind of got a bit annoying.
That was clever. I thought they used that really well.
Yeah.
Like that whole scene of, I can't remember his name now, but what's Nicholas Holt's character called again? Thomas
Hutter.
When he arrives when he's making his journey there, that was cool. Like the horse and carriage and the way that was shot was insane. Absolutely insane. Really, really good.
The castle, the streets of London, even the sort of ship and all those sorts of bits and bobs. Even like the physicality of him eating, we're used to seeing vampires on necks, right? But the way it was there was a shot of him they stayed on it for about 7 to 10 seconds of him just gulping the blood out of that body. And that
was a good little switch, wasn't it? From the neck to the middle of the chest. I quite like that. That's
right by the heart, I suppose. I think that's what going for. So there was it, but again, it wasn't like Northman wasn't probably as edgy as The Lighthouse and the Witch, maybe.
Well, I think it's got a studio that's probably said no to a couple of things, I would imagine. But not everything, I don't think, because it's there is that one bit that I was like, oh,
the kids.
That's pretty crazy. Maybe that bit, but then the almost possession bit, between her and Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, there was a bit of element of that sort of making it a possession movie as well as a vampire movie. I must admit the start we went through so quickly that I couldn't really work out the plot until later on. I didn't really understand that they were actually kind of betrothed before, and it wasn't just a dream. They were kind of betrothed, and then she kind of married again, and he's like, well, I'm gonna reel her husband off him and then get her back. That's kind of what the storyline is, right?
It's the kind of so it's the kind of like Beauty and the Beast story, isn't it? Where they're not betrothed. So basically, and obviously Bram Stoker's Dracula, he becomes fixated on her. Is it Mary Harker?
Because she looked like a previous lover, right?
She's essentially his, like, the bloodline or whatever, or the doppelganger of his, like, previous princess or queen or whatever. So that's how they sort of kind of get, like, he becomes fixated and obsessed with her. This one, they kind of, like, have it whereby she's obviously got some sort of psychic ability. She's obviously on the astral plane of some sort as a kid. And what she does is she's scared of all this, like, psychic energy type of thing that she gets, or this supernatural stuff. She can't handle it. So she asks for help. And that's the start where she's asking them for an angel. And then basically he becomes fixated now on her because he's essentially found somebody who is on his level, who can actually speak to people telepathically. Because obviously a lot of the Dracula or the Count Orlok stuff is about, possessing people and making them do what they want. So like Renfield, who's Hawk in this one, essentially is controlled by his mind. So there's that element of it. So that's basically them two coming together, and obviously the only way then, like, they're going to be together forever because he needs somebody like that, and he's got this like bloodlust or this obsession to find her, and which will only be satisfied once he gets her, which then obviously pulls him into the climax of what happens.
He's clever, isn't he, as well, to do all that work, because there's a lot of legwork to get over that.
Yeah. Definitely, but obviously been searching forever for it, and obviously all the things have got to line up. But obviously that's where Thomas has got into this new firm. They've obviously newlyweds. They're brought into this new world essentially.
I like the fact he had a minion as well.
Yeah,
that's quite cool. I like that. That was clever.
I mean, he was better. Like Jesus, the biting of the pigeon's head and stuff.
That was cool. I like that. Because I was in the cinema like a loser on my own on a Friday night, and it was literally just couples everywhere. So it was like I was sandwiched in between, like there was 2 seats empty either side, and then it was like obviously people on a date, and this woman was with her bloke, and literally that part she was like so scared and put off by it. It was like she'd obviously not seen much like this. But yeah, that was quite funny to witness in the cinema.
A couple other worth characters talking about as well. Obviously, we got Dr. William Severs, Ralph Ineson. It's nice to see Finchy up on stage.
Yeah, Finchy. Finchy pops up. He loves Finchy, doesn't he?
He does love Finchy, and he put in a great
Finchy in his films.
Yeah, he was a good participant, as well as like Emma Corrin as Anna Harding. Obviously, we just saw her in Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine last year. It's like a Boldy.
That's where she's from.
Yeah.
Of course. Shit.
So that was, but you're kind of right. I'm not really sure I disagree or agree with you on the Willem Dafoe of it all. I love Willem Dafoe, and I've seen him in so many different iterations, and
he's amazing. He is
amazing.
But he's good at playing those sort of characters, isn't he? Which is fair. I was just like, yeah.
Where you've got a him verse, if you do like a him versus. So in the who was that sort of character? Was it the Van Helsing?
Van Helsing. He's essentially
Van Helsing.
That was the guy that played Wolverine, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yes. Well, Anthony Hopkins, if you watch Bram Stoker's right.
It was Anthony Hopkins in Bram Stoker's.
It's more synergy with Deadpool Wolverine there.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I got on with it, and it was gorgeous, and it just it's just I really sort of, maybe he's finding it's that studio style. It'd be interesting. He's got that, because this was a retelling. I don't know much about his other stories and the originality of the Lighthouse and the Northman and stuff like that. He's really edgy and stuff like that. This was a retelling of a classic.
I believe he had been working on this for about 10 years. So originally, I think when they came to him, they had an idea, and they kind of didn't do it at the time. And then it's taken this time to get to the point where they could do it the way he wanted to do it. That's what I've heard on the podcast with an interview with him. But yeah,
I mean, I
quite like how scary it was, guys. To be honest, I mean, I know obviously he's done The Witch and things like that, but you wouldn't exactly call them scary films. They're intense and they're psychologically sort of disturbing, but not scary. And I think this one ticked that box. There was definitely some scary moments in it.
Definitely.
It felt cold and stuff when they were in. It wasn't Romania, was it? But it was. It felt. I think it was supposed to be Romania.
Transylvania. It was Transylvania.
Okay, it's fine. So, but it felt cold and it felt scary. What was the bit I definitely did jump at one stage? There was definitely a couple of jump scares, but one of them definitely got me, and I can't remember which one it was. But
was it the bit where he opens the tomb for the first time to find him inside it?
Yeah, maybe there was. It was a lame one. I think probably to do with a cat or something. Probably.
I did like how it set you up for the silhouette scene, by the way. When she walks out and she's like looking at the staircase up and down, and then like Lily Rose steps behind her. That was a bit of a jump scare, a lame jump scare where you're like, whoa!
Oh yeah, when she's got the lamp and stuff. Yeah, that was good.
I mean, that must have been done on purpose, but it was like classic like horror. We'll center the character, then we'll move away to the thing, then we'll come back.
You're waiting
and
for
move
it.
away, and then we'll go too far to the left on the way back to reveal this jump scare. It was classic, but it worked. It was very good. And then obviously the silhouette scene. This is the bit that was lifted right at the end where it's going around that sort of spiral staircase. I love the staircase, and the silhouette is very much Orlok from the 1922 film. It was very, very. So,
it was more like an up rather than like him walking like that, wasn't it? It was just like it's like his hand was coming up. I like that bit. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like the hand bit over the town as well. I thought that was quite cool.
Very, very cool.
See that?
Very gorgeous shots.
That's where I was just a bit like the whole plague thing. It was just like it's like it happened overnight, and people are going, "Oh my God, they're crazy! They're all crazy."
That's kind of true, though, isn't it? That the whole plague and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's how they came in with the rats.
Black Death with the rats. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the original. That's the part of the story they changed for Nosferatu. So obviously they got sued originally when they made that in the 20s.
Yeah,
by Bram Stoker's estate because of like.
They say you're not allowed to use Nosferatu otherwise they sue you. Isn't that why a lot of films? It was the
similarities of the story. I think that's why they used Nosferatu. They didn't use Dracula. They changed Count Dracula to Count Orlok. They did, all the character names are different. But they kind of lifted story elements of, because it is basically the same, but it's different. So like the rats and all that type of stuff, the plague storyline, that doesn't happen in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, because it's like watching that film we watched at Fright Fest for a bit.
The Demeter, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, there was nothing to say it, and that crashed in England, didn't it? It didn't crash in Germany. So yeah, it was. But the plague, at the time of it, the plague had already been, because they knew of it. They were scared about it happening again, and that's where they went the plague straight away, because it was like shit with all the rats on it. So yeah.
The culmination of it all, and the sort of scene at the end with Orlok and Hutter Ellen was just gorgeous, though, and stuff like that. It was kind of romantic and disgusting at the same time, and then
sexy.
Yeah, maybe I got
a little bit, because I thought he was actually like doing stuff for a bit, and then I realized, oh no, he's not. He's just, was he doing both? Was he having sex and drinking her blood at the same time? Like yeah, I'm not sure.
You can do anything you want with those shadow puppets.
Well, again, I think there's an element of that obsession, and that there's an element of her being obsessed with him as well. And there was definitely a sexual. I mean, the noises she was making all the way through the film. There's definitely a sexual element to it.
Big time.
But the best thing was when it filmed up on top of him, of him laying on top of her. His fucking
skinny legs.
Skinny legs.
When you shrivel up in the sun, Paul.
Emancipated.
All I kept thinking was when, like, the ending bit, and I couldn't help but smile. Obviously when the sun's coming up, it's like, well, one, you're like, she's just fucked you over, like, you're done now. But all that kept going through my mind was like, this is going to be a meme. It's going to be like when your wife doesn't give you sex for a month, and then you come. It's like his face was like, that bit was cool. I like that bit when he mounts and stuff. That's pretty gross. But yeah, good
Those
little ending.
weird one as well for me. You know, Hair Knock, Simon McBurney. At some points, he looked like Richard Dreyfuss to me.
Which character was that?
The sort of Knock guy, the one is Renfield.
Minion.
Yeah, it's Minion.
Yeah.
Minion guy. Kind of looks like Richard Dreyfuss at some points. But yeah, I got on with this a lot, and I think a lot of people have done, and it has been seen quite a lot.
It was packed in my showing.
Yeah.
Absolutely packed.
It's an interesting time of year to bring it all out, considering like there was talk of it coming out on Christmas Day at one point, even though that's obviously nonsense.
Its official release date was Christmas Day, isn't it?
It done 24 million or something like that before it came over to the UK. I don't know. It's been like well received and stuff.
Oh, I've not heard a bad word about it. It's like everybody's raving about it on the internet.
I did see one bad word.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, a little bit. Just the similarity between this and Bram Stoker upset them too much. Which just says to me that they fucking don't know a thing about the whole tale. Didn't bother looking at the history of it all and just thought, oh, this is a movie that I've seen before. Twat. You know who you are, dickhead. I hope you listen to this. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's a great fucking telling of a tale that's been told. And it's Robert Eggers and notes all over it, obviously. I don't know. It's just stunning. And I'd probably buy the fucking score, man. The score was fantastic. It was so fucking creepy. Imagine just listening to that on its own. I think that'd be brilliant. Yeah. Although all his scores are just fucking great, to be honest. A really interesting director. And this did it for me. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, what
about, like, one more thing, I suppose, is Bill Skarsgård's Orlok. Like, the way he spoke and, obviously, that sort of, no.
It took a bit of getting used to for me at the start, because I was like, well, at the start it was a bit hokey, but then as it went along, I kind of understood why. Like, I got used to it a bit at the start. I was like, oh, it's a bit like paint by numbers, I thought at the start. I was like, oh, yes, you must sign this. Oh. I was like, but then as it went along, I preferred it more because his voice kind of changed a bit.
It is the original one, though, isn't it? If anyone could get away with it, it could be like, oh, dog like this.
But he's from Transylvania, so I'm just saying, he's
you're racist.
Eastern European, so I'm not suggesting they're all pantomime vampires over there. Hello, welcome to Transylvania, but there's definitely an element of that accent.
Yeah, it was quite commanding though. And the makeup they'd done on him was fantastic. So I'd be interested to see if there is any room for Nosferatu at the Oscars. In some category.
Maybe costume design, something like that, maybe.
Sound, man, it was incredible.
Cinematography, something like that.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yes, darling.
Well, you must have known I was going to love it, so come on, let's be honest.
Oh, go on then. Put a number to it. What you rating Nosferatu? First movie of 2025.
I'm going to start off with a 9 out of 10. I fucking loved it. What a banger. Hopefully this sets us up for an unbelievable year.
I'm going to second the 9.
Oh, darling, behave.
Matt, what are you thinking?
I did like this movie. I did like it a lot, and I really I liked bits of it. Yeah, I would give it. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. Still quite high, but it wasn't like perfect movie for me. But I enjoyed it. But there was just certain things that I just felt like it could have been a bit shorter. Yeah, but not to bring it down. 8 is a good score.
It is. Nosferatu, the 9 out of 10. And
I definitely let Lily Rose Depp spit on me. Just saying.
Well, there you go. There's role, isn't it? Yeah, she's had a TV show out called Role Model or something like So
Matt's just give them the quote for the back of the DVD anyway. So
yeah, banging. Oh, okay. After all that talk, this exciting moment. Let's move on to our something to scream about.
So here we go. Here it is. Our top 10 of 2024. It's our top 10, so don't get angry if some stuff's not in it. Yeah, because we've decided on this top 10.
Hey, this is the only top 10 of the year you need to worry about, folks.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to do our usual roundup. We're all going to take movies and we're going to talk about them briefly. We're going to rate them from 10 to number 1. So, kicking us off is Mr. Geordie Paul at number 10.
okay, guys. So at number 10, we have the one, the only, a film that's quite dear to our hearts, is Members Club. So we were very, very lucky to see this at Fright Fest with the director and the parts of the cast who directly sat in front of us. And even better than that, we actually had the director Mark Corman on the pod. Did a great interview. We could have probably talked to him for about 4 days the way it was going. And as big lovers of Manfish, which we completely called by accident and fell in love with, this was a great, great follow-up. It's basically the Evil Dead meets the Full Monty. That's the best way we can describe it. It is so good. It is great practical effects. It's a film full of heart. You will piss yourself laughing. There's some really scary bits in it as well. And the best cameo by Peter Andre you will ever see in your life.
Yeah, it's a great start to our top 10, to be honest. It just tickled me all the way to the end of the night in London. And Mark Coleman, what a gent.
Yeah, you can find that in most streaming places at the moment as well, and go and rent it, and it's on the Sky Store, I believe. So yeah, go and watch it, because it is a joyful movie with some awesome effects, and it is dead funny.
Well, that was a bit of fun. We're moving on to even more fun. In number 9, we've got Abigail, from directors Matt Bettinelli-Oppen and Tyler Gillett. We get a little vampire ballerina girl gone mad, basically. You know, she's just got a load of toys to play with. I think this one came out back in March time. I missed it. I didn't actually get to talk about this bad boy. It's April, actually, that it came out. But it's got a great cast. Catherine Newton's in it, and it was just balls to the wall fun. The performance by Alicia Weir as Abigail was just fucking one of the standout performances of the year. And some of the deaths and the kills and the blood and the gore and just the absolute fun and riotous humour from this movie was great. And that had the lovely Dan Stevenson to boot. Really real treat, this one. Yeah,
it's a proper popcorn movie, blood everywhere. Just good fun, wasn't it? I really enjoyed it, just because it doesn't set the world on fire, but it's a fun story, and it's really tongue in cheek, and I love the little one-liners in it as well.
Yeah, I mean, not all the films have to be Oscar winners, do they? This proves it. It was a really, really enjoyable film, really, really good performances, lots of humour. Again, some bits were very, very scary. There's a kind of vampire possession scene with down a corridor in it, which is very, very, very well done.
Forgot about that. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and like I said, the cast just look like they're having a great time making the film, and it comes across. And the central character, the girl who plays Abigail, is such a little twat in it.
She's actually gone on. She's been cast as Dorothy in Wicked.
Oh well, there you go.
That's massive.
Yeah, cool. Huge. So, but yeah, very, very good, and definitely worth a place in our top 10.
And in at number 8, we have a little film called Heretic. So 2 young religious women are drawn into a game of cat and mouse with the one and only Hugh Grant, which can I just say, Hugh Grant is in his renaissance period. He is just literally any character he takes at the moment, he just smashes out of the park. And I really love this film just because it's so raw, and it's like you've got three main characters in it who carry the whole film, but it's just so well written as well. Like the dialogue is perfect in this film. And it's just the set design, Hugh Grant's character is just like, it's one of those performances where you think if they did have a horror kind of category in the Oscars, then Hugh Grant would be up for best male of a horror picture, definitely, with this role, I think. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Fantastic movie. I don't know what you guys thought.
I mean, a year of great performances when you think you've got like Speak No Evil and James McAvoy's great performance in that.
Another one that would be there, yeah.
Yeah, this was just like, it could be a category. It should be a category. You know, I loved it with Sophie Thatcher as well. The whole sort of religious element. I learned.
Sorry, what's she in? Sophie Thatcher?
She's in Yellow Jacket. She's in
that's it, Yellow Jacket.
Up and coming movie called Companion as well, which we're going to see soon. So yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Really, really happy that it's in here.
Yeah, I think Matt's spot on with it. Writing just carried the whole bloody film. It's phenomenal. I think it's definitely the first third and the middle was just incredible. I don't think you'll ever play a game of Monopoly if you see this film the same way ever again.
No.
And I just thought it was brilliant. Hugh Grant, I mean, it's a big statement to say career best performance, but I don't think I've seen him in anything really better. Unbelievable, really tense, and just, didn't really know where the hell it was going. So yeah, loved it.
What about Lair of the White Worm?
Paddington 2.
I mean, you could have said Four Winds of Fury or About a Boy or Anthony of them, but you went for Lair of the White Worm and Paddington 2. Anyway, never mind. But no, I think it's great seeing him in, not the toffee-nosed Tory boy, you know what I mean? It's the, the Hooray Henry type of role that he was cast as for years. It's actually really cool seeing him in this really sinister, horrible role. Same way with like things like The Black Phone with Ethan Hawke, turning these like really nice guys normally into shitheads. And yeah, doing it really, really well. So
something different, isn't it? Like it's time to do something different.
Yeah,
and that's really refreshing.
Wow. Okay, well, so that brings us swiftly on. So carrying on again with a religion theme at number 7. Wasn't a very good year for nuns. So at number 7, we have Immaculate. So starring Sydney Sweeney, who also produced it and, pretty much got it to the screen. Yes, we are big fans of Sydney Sweeney. Basically, yeah, I mean, starring her as a nun with problems or a past, gets sent to a convent, and weird shit starts to go down, and she finds out that she is immaculately pregnant, and then it goes haywire, kind of leads you down this conspiracy path, and then has probably maybe not the craziest last 20 minutes that we've seen this year, but it certainly goes mental in the last 15-20 minutes. Really, really crackers. It's really violent, really gory, and the end is just, for me, was absolutely superb. I've heard a bit of different people saying I wish I'd seen more, or I wish it showed us something, but they're a bit crazy. I thought it was brilliant because it let you guess what had happened and what you thought was happening. But yeah, I thought it was really, really good, and again anchored by a really, really, really strong performance from Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I think she just smashes it out of the park, and like you said, it's some real bits of shock and awe. For something that I didn't really expect much from. A really interesting story told, and well fought to get this made. I think it took her like 10 years. That's sort of silly like that. Well, not 10 years, but it's a while.
I liked that it pushed the boundaries a lot, and it showed you a lot as well, and that's where it kind of didn't have to at the end. But everything else before it was like warts and all. We're going to show everything, and I thought that was brave. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I need to rewatch it as well, I think, at some point.
It's free on Amazon right at the moment, I believe. So there we go.
Oh.
Okay, moving on to number 6. We have put Strange Darling in there. This one we got to watch at Fright Fest. We had a fight about this one, but in the end, I think it feels right. It is kind of like a psychological erotic thriller with, at its core, without giving too much away, it's a twisted one-night stand that spirals into a serial killer's vicious murder spree. It's non-linear storytelling at its best. I think we walked in thinking it was going to be a good one to watch. Kyle Gallner, I don't know, he's turned into an absolute hero of mine this year, to be honest, after watching this and Dinner in America. Just the performances of the two were just fucking great. The chemistry was outstanding, and just the shot that didn't know which way it was going. I love this one a lot. I'm happy that it's in there, to be honest. And it is that whole serial killer edge to it.
Very, very sharp. Very well written. Just non-stop the whole way. It's like, what is going on? And it's just like when you just think, there's so many stories out there that have been done to come along with a one-off story, and knock it out of the park for a complete original story. I thought, brilliant. I love this. And this is one I could definitely watch again and again. And I think if you watch it again, it might be different as well, because you'll be watching it with different eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I was the one that really fought hard to get this at the top 10. But it is, like, it's a genre piece, and you could argue it's not horror or strictly horror, but psychologically it is, and it's such a great cat and mouse film. We didn't know what it was about going in. We kind of didn't know what it was about going halfway through the film, and then it really good punches you, and it's stunning. It's a stunning film. And, you know, proper respect to Giovanni Ribisi, who obviously people know him as an actor. This is his first stab at director of photography, and oh my God, it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's just pure brilliant filmmaking, and it definitely deserves to be in there. And if you haven't seen it, don't research it. Pick it up and watch it. Go in really cold, and I guarantee you, you will have an amazing cinematic experience. I fucking love this film. It is great.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're halfway through now. So we are at number 5, and we picked as our number 5 a film called Mads, as in Mads. So this one was kind of like caught me, well, all of us, I think, off guard, where I was like, guys, you need to watch this film. And then I think you guys watched it pretty much straight away after me, right? I think.
Lad, I was preparing it for the conference call, the podcast. And you basically, I was like, oh, he's going to see Mads. And you're like, bollocks, I was going to surprise us with this one. I think then Butch watched it like
But yeah, so this one came out, and it's literally a film that's shot. It must be just one shot. It had to be. I mean, it claims it was one shot, which in itself is just an absolute, like mind blown. But it's literally about a kind of teenager who stops to see his dealer and test a new drug before heading off for a night of partying, and then shit starts to happen. Essentially, it's kind of like, I would say, like, you could say it's a zombie movie, but then there's things in it that maybe it's not, maybe it's something else, maybe it's the drug that you're taking, or is it something else? But the way it's just shot, and the camera's following everything, even from the opening shot where the lead character gets in the car and he's driving, and it's just so well done. And the pacing of this film is just spot on 100%. It just keeps going. The performances are insane. I just don't even know how they did it. I'd love to see like a making of, just to see what it's like. If you like films like One Cut of the Dead and, you know, one shot movies, then this is for you, basically.
French, isn't it? Belgian. Okay. It's just an absolute feat and an absolute adrenaline rush of a movie to watch. It just fucking goes and goes and goes, and yeah, it just keeps you fucking on your feet the whole way through it. It's a stunningly shot movie, and the content and the moments of pure insanity are well worth anyone's time.
You know what? It's that sort of movie where you would watch and you would have like had the DVD and you would like pass it around to your friends and go, "You got to watch this." If it was out of physical, that's the sort of movie it is. Do you not think? Like you'd say, "Look, if you ain't checked anything else, you need to check this out because it's fucking crazy."
The way it's shot and the way it's done. I mean, like you said, I was watching the entire film, waiting for it to cut, waiting to spot a go. It says it's a one shot, but this cannot be right. And like you said, Matt, after you've watched it, you feel almost like a burden to pass this on, because I think it's non-stop. It keeps going, and it kind of saps your stamina. You feel a bit tired after watching this because you're like, Jesus,
full on.
That was insane. And I don't mean tired in a bad way. I think it was really, really well done. And it's technically unbelievable. Unbelievable. Because it's not just a one shot in a room or even one cut of the dead. It's in like a complex. This is across a city. This is across a city in a forest.
Fuck knows how they did that.
Multiple modes of transport and everything. It's crazy.
Like
absolutely
cars, motorbikes, bikes, mopeds.
Lift shafts, tower blocks. It's just house parties, like mental. But it's brilliant, and it caught us all by surprise, and just it should have a little fanfare, but definitely worth a watch to people who want to watch something different.
Yeah, it definitely deserves a 5 spot. Okay,
so into the top 5. So I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I have another None Gone Wrong film, and this one I kind of before I say the title of it, this has got to be a trend for this year in the fact that nobody has poo-pooed big studio films more than me and obviously this podcast. It does it already when just because someone's got a load of money behind it doesn't mean you have to make a crap film. I'm looking at you, None too. All right, but this we all I think went into it thinking it was going to be a bag of shite, and it was a way of just keeping the rights going so they didn't have to give up the rights and just to keep hold of a classic film. And it is The First Omen, and wowee, what a surprise this was. From the opening shot and the opening scene at that church, and the way the central performance by Neil Tiger Free is incredible. Yeah, people can go, pinches a bit of possession. There is a bit of that in there, but the way it's shot and the way it sort of keeps you, like, it's guessing as to what's going on. Even though you kind of know where it's got to end up, it doesn't give the game away. And yeah, it is an incredible, incredible film. I don't think it gets enough justice this year because I haven't really seen it in anyone's top 10s or anything like that. But it is a fantastic film and the second best Omen film ever. There you go.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like you said, her performance is outstanding, and you know the two together that came out literally like week apart. I think Immaculate and this and what.
I think that's a shame.
It kind of is, but it didn't taint it for me, and the fact that we put them both in the top 10 says a lot for the two performances and stuff like that by Sydney Sweeney, by whatever you said her name is. I can't
Nell Tiger Free.
Yeah, there you go. He was in Servant and fucking so good in that TV series.
Yellow Jackets.
M. Night Shyamalan. Oh. Yeah, I just thought it was great, and the fact that I didn't really understand the connection. Even though I probably should have.
Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't even understand that there was a connection between this and The Omen. But obviously watching it, there was, I went in blind. You know, blind Jack.
I mean, the title wasn't The First Omen, but never mind.
Well, you know, there could be anything. That could mean anything in these days. But yeah, just like the sort of, succinctness into The Omen that was out in the 70s, and the fact that it didn't shit on it and actually like elevated it, I think was fucking fantastic job and carefully done and very well done, because it had to be, because it could have been a bag of dicks and it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's in my actual top 10, my personal top 10 of the year. I just thought it was absolutely insane, and I, like Geordie Paul said, I was not expecting that one tiny bit. I went in with the lowest gutter expectations, and it blew me away. Especially, I love that like nod to possession scene. I just thought that was insane. Yeah, brilliant.
Okay, on to number 3. Now, this is one where we actually were excited about it. We'd seen some, guerrilla sort of market into it. It just looked intriguing. It's one of those sort of trailers where you goes, I have no fucking idea what we're about to watch. But I knew that it starred Maika Monroe. And that's all that mattered to me. It's, a sort of, we're talking long legs. We're talking, this sort of decade's Silence of the Lambs. In pursuit of, Megan Rowe plays an FBI agent who's looking into the occult, in pursuit of a serial killer played by the very interesting Nicolas Cage, who's not Nicolas Cage in this movie, but kind of is. I mean, this is like the role that, every sort of Nicolas Cage moment has led to this. The makeup on him is fucking outstanding. The moment we get when it all cages out, it doesn't feel like his. It feels like Longlegs' moment, and that was really incredible. Some of the side performances we don't even recognise some of the actors in this movie, but I think we had to check afterwards. Alyssa Witt, and even like Kiernan Shipka, who was like in Sabrina, and like those sort of roles, you just like, I mean, Alicia Witt as her mum, it was fucking unrecognisable, like as that, and the story that was told was original, even though we'd seen similarities to other things. It was like that the titular antagonist of Longlegs is just a great new character in the horror pantheon, in my opinion. So I love this one, and the top three is really interesting because I'd happily put this at number one.
It's hard pick, but it just had so many kind of notes of kind of not ripping from other films, but like it just made me feel like I was watching a sort of like Seven, a Silence of the Lambs. It's just an original story with just, again, like Maika Monroe, her performance is like so different to everything else she's ever done, because like you said, she was unrecognizable. She lost so much weight. She completely changed her voice. The performances throughout are brilliant, and the storyline again is just kind of batshit, but was really interesting.
And again, I suppose I can come in for the director, Osgood Perkins. And what a beautiful film as well, beautifully shot.
He wrote and directed this one, so yeah. That's the beauty of it.
Obviously, the son of Anthony Perkins, who is Norman Bates himself. So, just incredible. Like, I loved it. I mean, to be honest, until Fright Fest, this would have been my film of the year. I absolutely loved it. It was just from start to finish brilliant. And obviously, the central performance of Nicolas Cage, central, it's just crazy. And I kind of liked, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I did actually like how brave it was towards the end with the twists. Because again, I didn't think that was going anywhere near that. And it went, whoa. And it kind of opened this little world up to you right at the end of the film, to almost you could go, ooh, now do we see a bigger film about that?
But like two films in one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, because I think while everyone's going to draw comparisons to Silence of the Lambs, I think it's kind of good that it gets that, because it leaves the end open and going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people hated it. I've seen a lot of hate for it,
really?
But there's a lot of people who loved it. But again, a film that challenges people to think about that type of stuff, brilliant. Loved it.
Yeah, and we get to see him, tackle a Stephen King later on in the year, with The Monkey, which I'm looking forward to. Come on, Perkins.
Is it going to be a 2 for 2? We'll find out later on in the year. Talking of twos, we're at number 2 now. So what's it going to be? So number 2 is Smile 2, another 2. It's all the 2s. So this one, I think, I said about the First Omen going in with my expectations being in the gutter. This one I went in with my expectations being below the gutter, into the sewer, and to the center core of the earth. Because I wasn't that big on Smile. I'll be honest. And this fucking blew my fucking socks off.
Well, remember, to the point, you were actually debating whether this would be the film we reviewed that time.
You were fighting
Hello?
for it to go. You were like, come on, lads, we can figure something better.
Right, okay, question. And you're not allowed to say anything about The Godfather. Name a number 2 film from a franchise that's come out that is better than the first one.
Empire Strikes Back.
There's not many. I bet you can't think of 5 films right now.
Back to the Future 2.
1. Is it better than the first?
No.
Debatable. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Anyway, we're talking about Smile 2. Let's get
Lord
back
of the
on.
Rings took the 2 towers.
So, yeah,
Terrifying.
so Smile 2 is at number 2. Literally, blew me away. It's about a character that is a superstar. Obviously, we know about the previous, about, you know, what this is and how it gets to them. And it follows her and her central performance and all her problems. And it takes hold of that and it just runs with it. And the ideas behind it were just insane, because it does it through dance kind of like, maneuvers, and like follows her throughout her career. And obviously she's a megastar, so it takes it into a brand new kind of area, maybe not what we've seen before. But literally, I just everything about this film I loved. The storyline, the pace, everything. I just absolutely loved it. I went and saw it twice, so not many films I saw twice this year, and I went and saw that twice, so.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, Naomi Scott. I mean, it's almost like every note we made for Smile, and I kind of like Smile. I thought it had some good. I thought it had a good central idea, and every note that we had. If I went back and listened to our review, and every note that we had for Smile, they sort of did. They took it on, and they took this kind of paint by numbers demon movie, which we had quite a few that year when Smile came out, and it absolutely smashed the box office because of the market.
Got your favourite bloke in it as well.
Because of the marketing campaign. That's what it did. That's why this movie has done well. The marketing campaign's genius. But it had to have something for us to hold on to. And the way that it sort of, I don't know, gave nods to Gaspar Noé, in my opinion, in its approach to doing this second one, and all led with her performance and the relationships that she had and that it created around her. And it just, it's really hard. It's a really good year when I feel like this one, Long Legs, and what we're giving to number 1 should all have been number 1. I just think this is, like Matt said, it's just like a fucking sequel is like up there, you know? It's fucking crazy. It felt like an original story told originally. Like, you know, they've done the first one. We're like, okay, we're going to get a second one. It's kind of going to be, let's cash grab. But they just went, we're going to give you this.
It caught me off guard as well.
Yeah.
Just completely, literally gave me a right hook and a left hook. I was like, what? Is this the same franchise? I was like...
It upped the gore, you know, the demon was kind of not silly, you know, like, it was fucking great. It was
Again,
great.
as well, it kind of came out really near Trap, which was kind of like centered around a female artist. But this was done way better. But there you go.
The geniusness is the timing of it. You know, they've thought, you know, how clever would it be to, you know, riff on Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, all them that are massive, huge at the minute. Like, you know, music industry is revolving around like single female artists, and it just dumped this premise into there. But oh my god, it dealt with it dealt with PTSD. It dealt with family crisis. It dealt with that megastardom, about the celebrity culture. And just all the while this crazy demon, which I thought was really clever in the way it got rid of the first film, essentially. It carried it, but it got rid of it quite very cleverly at the start, where you were kind of watching a different film, and it was like, whoa, what is going on? Shot beautifully. I mean, there's a scene in her apartment with the dance troupe behind her, and it's just, I mean, it's freaky as fuck, but it's brilliant. And like central performance, oh my god, it was unbelievable. I mean, that was a bit higher on Smile than you guys have, and this blew my socks off. Absolutely incredible. And we keep saying it. Who would have thought Smile 2 would have been our second best film last year?
No way.
You'd have been like, if that was your second best, it must have been a really terrible year. But actually, the reverse. It was a very strong year for horror. And
I mean, like Simon, listener of the podcast, came in to the shop where I work, and literally, this is how good it is. He saw Kim Newman of who writes a lot of things for the Empire podcast. He's got writes movie reviews. He's very well known in the horror genre kind of background. And he did ask him, well, what's your best movie you've seen this year? And he said Smile 2. And that just obviously sets the standard of how good this film is. And the fact that also the main character, you kind of don't like her, and then you like her because it obviously follows her throughout the whole movie non-stop. And then you like her, then you don't like her, and then you like her, then you don't like her again, and it takes you through these twists and turns. And by the end of it, you're like, are you on their side, or does she deserve what she's getting? But yeah, go watch it because it's brilliant.
Okay, so can I have a drum roll, please? So that brings us to number 1. And what a treat this was for us. European premiere, I believe it was, at Fright Fest.
I believe that Mr. Paul Butcher wasn't really fussed about watching this one.
I wanted to go home. I was about to fucking watch a 2 hour and 20 minute or 2 hour and 40 minute movie. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to get the train so fucking, then what's going on? Demi Moore might be.
Trust me, he didn't shut up about moaning about it either.
I was a little baby.
All that said,
you were a bitch.
We had a great Fright Fest experience, but we were all very tired, a bit ratty, just, hoping that this film, we'd heard a lot of good stuff about it, but we were kind of hoping, obviously Matt and Paul, I've still not seen it yet, Revenge, so,
have you still not seen it now?
No. So again, they rate that film so highly, so we were buzzing for this one, and boy did it not disappoint. So it is the one and only The Substance. It's obviously starring Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley, Dennis Quaid as well. I mean, guys, like, it is my favourite film of the year, so I do a separate one on me normal socials, and I couldn't go past it because it's unlike anything I've ever seen, right? And that sometimes can be a worrying thing, but it's just sensational. From the story, from as far-fetched as it gets, it never feels that far-fetched. The performances, I mean, like, Demi Moore never will be better than this, I don't think. It's
what a comeback.
Incredible. So yeah, Demi Moore will never be better than this. She's unbelievable. Margaret Qualley, sensational. Effects, sensational. Story, sensational. Dennis Quaid, sensational. Everything about it. And then it does have the most batshit for the last 15 minutes I've seen ever. To the point where we were laughing, we were shocked, we were amazed, bits of silence, then back to laughing, and then bits of sort of cringiness about it. Oh my God. Absolutely sensational. So to be honest, I don't think when we were compiling these lists, like, kind of individually, it just was straight there. There was no second thought about it. It was brilliant. And obviously to share that experience with you two was phenomenal. So
I think that's kind of what pipped this one to number 1 for me was, I do have to take surroundings and feelings into account when I'm watching movies, and this, like, watching that with you guys, with the Fright Fest audience in that cinema, just added to the experience, because people were just like, not talking and stuff, but they were like reacting and stuff, which was really cool to see and fun. But also, it's just like, to watch a film that's obviously directed. I mean, I loved Revenge, and I thought whatever she does next, as in Coralie for she, like, I was thinking she is going to knock it out of the park. Whatever she does, she's got to. And this is why I was so hell-bent that we had to see this movie, because I just knew that it would be good, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. And to write and direct it and be so brave with the content that's in it, and to go so, like, people were like going, oh yeah, it's so Cronenberg in places. I'm like, literally, I think I said it when we covered it and talked about it. She went, hold my beer, I'm going to go and do this. And she fucking smashed it. Like, no holds barred. And I just, as well, with being such a, it's distributed from Mubi. So yeah, you could say it's a bit of an art house kind of like distributor, but they've just gone, you do whatever you want. There's your budget, go for it. And that is what needs to be done with movies right now. Because we've seen some amazing movies this year, and a lot of good, amazing movies have been kind of not franchises. I know we have spoke about a couple, obviously, but like we need more films like this and Strange Darling, things like that, because that is cinema and that is what pushes it. And this storyline and this everything that's in it is just so out there and cool, stylistic, everything, brilliant.
It was a real moment, 2024, and not only the fact that it was a real moment, the story that it tells. Along with the body horror, along with the shock and the awe and the great performances, the actual story of somebody who's grasping at fame has really hit a note with a lot of people in Hollywood as well. So this is an art house movie that has a fucking a once studio actress and an up and coming studio actress. And it's really fucking hit the note, so much so that it's got a lot of nods and stuff in I think it's not the Grammys, one of the BAFTAs. No,
it's up for 10 nominations in the BAFTAs, and it's also up for Oscars. It's really, and it's the subject matter which has really hit the note, because it will hit that, and it will sort of make people think that, you know, I've got to sit down and watch a 2-hour fucking 40 movie. Where did that 2-hour 40 movie, I could watch that again. It was just so fucking weird and original, and more, please. That's all I'm saying. Can I just say as well, women in horror this year, of 2024, mate, look at the list.
Margaret Qualley, Demi Moore, Naomi Scott, you know, Sydney Sweeney, Tiger Lily, whatever her name is.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah, it's just fucking incredible. You know,
absolutely brilliant performance.
Horror is always the fucking genre that gets to push the sort of lead the way in that sort of female genre. I think they're fucking doing it and smashing it.
They always have, yeah. And I think that's the problem. Again, I'm not going to keep going on about it, but awards season, man, they need to change it. Needs to be changed. Because
this is just, they couldn't even fucking work out where to put it.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it. Where do you put this film? You can't pigeonhole this film.
It's ridiculous. Oh, The Substance. What a fucking movie. What a top 10. I'm happy with that.
Do we want to have any honourable nods? Alien Romulus?
Yeah.
Stop motion for me. That was on Shudder. That's worth
Still got to watch it. I know. We'll talk about it next episode, because by the next episode, I would have seen it. Oddity, great shout, Paul. Brilliant.
Coffee Table, which me and Paul got to see this year.
No comment.
Really tickled Matt. Inner Violent Nature is worth a watch, because it's just original take on a trope that's been done.
The devil.
Pretzel kill.
Pretzel kill, yoga kill.
Or the yoga kill, yeah.
You know, the VHS Beyond was pretty decent this year as well.
That was a big. It's been a year of surprises, because I wasn't expecting that to be as good. It had no right to be as good as it had, and it was fucking brilliant.
Good bit of fun, the Invisible Raptor, you know. So yeah.
That's real. That was a good one.
Yeah, Broken Bird,
brilliant. A lot of good films come out of Fright Fest. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
What a year. We've been spoiled.
Yeah, bring on. And 2025 does look interesting. That's what I'm saying.
It's slated to be a good one.
Yeah. And we'll be around to tell it all, people.
So jump on board and hold on for your hats. Okay. Well, now that's done, let's get on to our movie from the vault.
Castle Rock Entertainment and Stephen King invite you to visit Castle Rock, Maine, a quiet little town whose population has just increased by 1.
Do you believe in the devil, Father? I guess I have to. You can't have one without the other. What does he look like? What the hell does he look like?
May I take this opportunity to welcome you to Castle Rock on the good Lord's behalf?
why not?
So where are you from?
Ohio. I've been in this business a long time, and I've learned the pleasure of offering my customers what they really need.
He came here to destroy us.
Oh, you wussy.
There have been 2 murders and an attempted suicide in this quiet little town, and Mr. Leland Gone is at the bottom of it.
You are disgusting. I like that in a person.
Everybody that's got it coming is gonna get it now.
The young carpenter from Nazareth. I knew him well. Promising young man. But he died badly. A famine here, a flood there, a little bloodlust, a broken heart. You can't win. I've got God on my side. We're having fun now. How is it going? I killed my wife. Is that wrong? Hey, these things happen.
This episode's Move from the Vault is Needful Things. We're starting the year off with a Stephen King beauty starring, I don't know, fucking everyone. Ed Harris, Max von Sydow, Amanda Plummer, J.T. Walsh, Bonnie Bedella. It's just nuts. The movie centers around a mysterious proprietor named Leland Gaunt. He arrives in a small town of Castle Rock, Castle Rock, Maine, and opens an antique store called Needful Things. Are people going to shop there and get exactly what they asked for? Maybe not. I understand, Paul, that you have read the book. What did you think of the movie? What was your first impressions?
And was this the first time you've watched it as well or not?
I've seen this before, but I couldn't remember any of it. I've definitely seen it as a younger adult. Lads, this film suffers from the same thing other Stephen King 90s things suffer from, right?
Langoliers, how dare you, sir?
Well, Langoliers is a terrible example, right? But so even It, the miniseries, right, and you know Tommy Knockers and things like that, right? You get these massive books from Stephen King, right? Who have these really detailed characters in, and then people adapt that, right? But they adapt this massive book with loads of different characters and with lots of stuff going on, and then they adapt that into some like short, an hour and a half film or 2 hours or whatever, right? And it just doesn't work. Because what happens is these characters don't have enough time to gestate this type of stuff, so they go from like naught to batshit very quickly, and it becomes almost pantomime-y, hence J.T. Walsh, right? And this wasn't totally terrible, but I just think it suffers from that same shit that people don't give Stephen King material enough room to breathe. Because it is complex and it is weighty, but then don't do it if you haven't got enough budget or time to do it.
I'm going to pick the fucking Stand, and then you can sit through fucking 4.5 hours of that shit.
I've seen The Stand, mate, but I've also read The Stand book. The Stand book's incredible.
Like the Stand
TV series
I like The Stand.
Exactly the same. It doesn't give it enough time to breathe.
Devil in jeans.
So that's what I think. What do you think, guys?
Matt?
That was pretty good. No. No. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see this. It needs room to breathe. It needed a TV show. Because you can imagine if it was a TV show, they could have just picked a different item out of the shop for each and built on the characters and then brought it all together. And it would have been absolutely brilliant. However, it did quite entertain me watching it. I thought Max von Sydow, what's his name? Max von Sydow?
Cider.
Was brilliant in it, like chewing up the scenery like he does, which is brilliant. But I think there were a few things out of this that were good that we could talk about and stuff. But I've obviously not read the book. It's the first time for me ever seeing this. It did feel like, was it a TV movie? A bit like It? Was it maybe? But it did do a good job of some of the character building, I thought, but it was typical, like you say, a bit of a paint by numbers, like, right, who are we going to get in for this Stephen King kind of film? Yeah. but I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. It's pretty batshit towards the end. Again, like it goes like 10 to the dozen right at the end. But yeah.
I mean, for me, first time I watched it, not read the book. I get what you meant in terms of fleshing out the characters. However, the fact that and it was a TV and it had that Stephen King lens on it. However, with what they had, they put together a fucking okay movie. An okay movie. It was fucking weird and batshit and quick in its pace. And some of the stupid, like, obviously the relationships weren't built up enough, but let's take, oh God, I don't know, fucking what's her face and what's her face, waitress versus Apple Girl, you know, it's like their fight was ridiculous and fun, and the end kill was fantastic. Some of the kills in here and the fights and the language and the dialogue actually worked for me. The idiot characters of Norris and the fucking, the mayor? I don't know, like the cop and the mayor. And it's like their childish relationship was ridiculous. And I haven't seen Castle Rock, but I got quite excited because I don't know if Castle Rock's never meant anything to me before watching Needful Things, really. I know it's appeared in lots of Stephen King stuff, but this is the first time I think I've seen it in any of his works. And I might be wrong, I might have seen it before, but I really paid attention, obviously.
I think but we'll get onto that.
Yeah. But yeah. So I kind of liked the stupid town. I thought the fucking town was a bunch.
Stupid town.
It was a stupid town. They were a bunch of fucking...
A big old turkey farm, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were a bunch of fucking clowns. And they kind of got what's coming to them. That's what I thought.
Do you know who Norris was, by the way? Or is? Have you ever watched Sons of Anarchy?
Yes, he's the fucking weird priest.
FBI agent.
The FBI agent who's like, chill, man.
You've got John McClane's wife.
John McClane's wife is the sort of, the little sexy
Holly.
bit. Yeah.
So, like, we haven't really spoke about what the film's about, so we just jumped in there straight away. So we've got this guy that's come to town and everybody's like all riled up, like, oh, there's a new shop opening called Needful Things. And essentially he's there to cause issues, it seems, from his little trinkets and stuff.
He's the devil.
Well, yeah, that's what we're led to believe. So I thought that was quite interesting, the way, like, obviously he got people into his shop. It was like, you're going to buy something, whatever it is. And then it brings kind of like memories back to them. But that comes at a price, so you've got to do something for him. So, which is really stupid, petty things if you think about it. It's like they start off to being just stupid things, just to make people fall out with each other. So it's not directly involving him, which was quite weird.
It was fun. It was like, the kid throwing apples. I was like, why is he throwing apples at the house? I couldn't figure it out. That's the first time I was like,
figure that out.
I couldn't figure out for fucking that. I forgot there's like the little puppets, but he's like, okay, so what's beef has he got with her? Is he related to the fucking waitress?
Oh,
and I'm like, I understood.
The point of it.
I know. And then I got it. And then it's like, the fucking dog was skinned. And I was like,
apple pie.
Fucking apple pie. And I got it.
The dog was trussed up like a turkey. Did you notice that?
I know. It's some great little...
That's lost points there for me.
Yeah. I don't like a dog death, to be honest.
Yeah, that lost points.
But, the fight between the woman who's in Pulp Fiction, is it Amanda Plummer? I can't remember it.
Honey Bunny.
Yeah, Honey Bunny. She was fucking great. And the fucking fight was ridiculous. It just worked for me so much. But he is a puppet master. He's like, you go and do this one, and you go and do this one. And it just like pushes him against her and her against him. And they're all a bunch of buffoons. It's like, and they just end up like bickering and the whole town goes in there. It's funny.
But again, it went to the comedic element of it. It was quite sort of like daft, like you said, slapsticky in places.
Like the Catholic and the priest.
Yeah, the two priests fight each other. But this is the thing though, in the book, like as you've read Stephen King before, it's really dark. Like it's really dark, and it's not just you get an electric shock and away you go. Obviously, it goes into like their pasts and they're real downtrodden and they've got real beef with people in town, but it plays up to that, and it's more of a psychic sort of mind manipulation than anything else. And the only time I thought that the film does it any justice is with Amanda Plummer's character, because he spent a bit more time. You could see he was like he had a like brain going, whereas the others, it was a bit like, right, you get in and out, 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 and you're like, well, I just, again, it was just a problem I kind of have with them Stephen King adaptations of the time. And I know you love them, Butch.
I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm a big.
I could see. I stand by.
It needs a remake. It would 100%.
TV show, but a TV show.
But it's had iterations in Rick and Morty and The Simpsons, and I think even probably Futurama. In a lot of probably Family Guy's got one as well, I imagine. But the Rick and Morty one is just outstanding. So it's got
the end, is it? Don't do this, naughty people. Look at the devil's trying to make you do. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, get out of our town, devil. Boo. Down with this sort of thing. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I did like it. I did like it when he's like, don't worry. You'll have a lovely life and you're going to have a child. But then I'll meet blah, 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 in 1920. No,
it says 2053.
2053, yeah, and we'll meet again. And he'll be a great, asshole or something, won't it? It's just like, oh, okay. And then just walks off.
Because
he's a prick. He's a bellend. He's a tosser.
I'm sure look, it's a while ago since I read the book, but he hints at it in the show where he goes, have I met you before? When the sheriff comes in, right?
Yeah. I remember that. I
kind of think that's to do with, he's kind of this lineage of either saints or Jesus, right? And it's like, oh, I can't manipulate you. But there's a definite work in the book where he pushes, basically townsfolk turn on the sheriff.
Yeah, because he doesn't buy the sheriff. He doesn't buy the sheriff over, does he?
No, but he kind of knows he's uncorruptible because he's already essentially been corrupted by the whole his experiences in So there's a lot of that stuff goes on. Whereas I thought this was just a bit fluffy. And can I just go back right to the start? Did they steal the start sequence of Beetlejuice?
Oh yeah.
But
did you see the font of the Needful Things was exactly like the Lost Boys font?
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, they borrowed a lot. It was, but you know what? It was a good bit of fun. I had fun watching.
It was fun. I didn't get bored. I was quite interested by it and seeing where it went.
Fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then it was Stephen King 90s fun. Langoliers fun.
Yes.
I don't know. It's probably his mid-tier Stephen King adaptation. It's not the worst one I've ever seen, but
it's better than Dreamcatchers.
Well, the Dreamcatcher book's a bit silly, so I can't believe they actually filmed that.
Right, come on.
Matt's facts.
Okay. You've given Ed Harris and his tribe enough.
Yes. Stephen King's original novel also featured a return appearance by Ace Merrill, the bully played by Kiefer Sutherland in Stand By Me. Remember that, Paul?
Yeah.
No,
but now I do.
Okay. Brian Rusk's mother. Now this was a question I wanted to answer because I was like, why do they keep focusing on that woman? Who is she? Excuse me.
Who is she?
Yeah, who is she? Brian Rusk's mother appears in the longer 3-hour version in her side story where she purchases sunglasses worn by Elvis Presley. She can still be seen in the cut version of the movie at the end wearing the sunglasses. Now, because they talk to her in the film, obviously, and I'm like, who is this shady woman with the sunglasses that she's got, Elvis glasses on? And I was trying to figure out, have I missed something here? But obviously, she is.
I think she's the town whore, because there's a scene in the bar.
That's the kid's mother, though, isn't it?
Yes, that's her mother. That's his mother, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now I get it. I'm like, huh? The setting of Needful Things is a fictional town called Castle Rock, Maine, as in Stephen King's novel. The distribution company Castle Rock was named after it when it released Stand By Me in 1986. Castle Rock was also the setting for The Dead Zone, Cujo, and The Dark Half, it was also the setting for Stand By Me. So there's where you've seen Castle Rock before. Okay. In the film, Hugh Priest buys a football jacket from Gaunt, while in the novel he buys a fox's tail, just like the one he used to fix to the car's aerial. If you look closely, the tail is visible during the flashback scene when Hugh tries to jack the store. Ray McKinnon, who plays Deputy Norris Redgwick, also appeared in another Stephen King adaptation. He played Charlie Campion in the soldier who unleashed the plague in the 1994 miniseries The Stand, which also, may I add, features Ed Harris.
As what? Who did Ed Harris play in The Stand?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that one up.
I can't remember. It's so long ago I've seen it.
Yeah.
In the novel, young Brian Russ does commit suicide. In the film, however, it is revealed by the Sheriff Pangborn to have survived. The line of dialogue was a last-minute addition after the studio strongly objected to the horrific implications of a minor killing himself.
Oh, fucking studio. Yeah, definitely retell the story. It's got a retelling. Definitely someone could tackle this and make it quite interesting. Maybe they did in the Castle Rock TV series. I never watched it. So maybe I should. Cool. Lovely job. What are you rating this bad boy, Paul? Let's start with you. Let's start with the Stephen King nut.
The Stephen King nut was very disappointed. Maybe that's because I'm just too much of a nut. But 4 out of 10, guys.
Oof.
Ouch.
I'd probably go 5 or 6, maybe.
6 for me. 5. 6 for me. Still love these fucking.
A film of no substance, guys.
More, please.
All fluff, no muff.
Yeah, I like a bit of fluff.
All right. Well, whose pick is it next?
It is mine.
Oh God.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, guys. I've never seen this film, but I've heard it's very, very good. So I'm hoping that's true. It's from the 70s. It's from 1973, and it's directed by Brian De Palma, and it is the film Sisters, starring Margot Kidder.
Okay, never heard of it. So, where can we watch this?
We can watch that on Arrow, guys.
Really milking the Arrow one, aren't you?
I wonder why.
Don't take the piss.
Appreciate it.
It's supposed to be very, very good, and I've never seen it, and obviously you
I've never seen it. I love Margaret Kidder.
Yeah, I like Margaret Kidder, so that's cool, man. Okay, okie dokie. That brings us to the end of the episode. Yeah, thanks for listening to another episode, the first episode of 2025, episode 171. If you'd like to let us know your top 10s, send them into social media at the end. We've also got a little bit of a bonus material, which is us talking absolute bollocks about which movie should be at which place. Have a little listen if you want a little bit of an extra. Moving on to episode 172. We don't know what our main review is. I think we've got an idea. We'll come back at you with our Move from the Vault, which Paul picked. It's 1973's Sisters with Margot Kidder. And there's only one more thing to say. When there's no more room in hell, here's another podcast.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
You can follow us on Twitter @DrawOneLast, Instagram @DrawOneLastBreath, or pop us an email at drawoneLastBreathPod@hotmail.com. So we're discussing what's number one.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Try and work. I think for me, this might be an easy one, but we'll see. I could go off. My submission for number one would be Smile 2.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm in like 50-50. Smile 2 and The Substance fighting out for number one.
Well, I've said The Substance.
Is that because it's got so much? It's got a lot. It's getting the kudos. It's getting the awards. But I think
it's not that only that. I think original. It's because of the setting that we saw it in. That was extra special for me, and that's what made it more of an event. Maybe that's what. Or are we not looking at that? Are we looking at just the film as itself? If it's just the film itself, I probably have to say The Substance only just marginally would be number one for me.
It's my best film of the year, period. So I mean, it would be remiss of me to go, no, someone else is better. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty fucking perfect, for what it was. Just incredible in pretty much every way. Performances, the way it was shot, storyline, the acting, the fucking just absolute batshitness of it.
Only because
it's wrong. I love
completely different as well.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to have an original one at the top, wouldn't it? Okay. I mean, Substance was my number 2, so I could quite happily switch them around if we can get Smile 2 in at 2.
Absolutely, nice. 100%.
So I'd happily have The Substance as number 1. That's interesting.
Smile 2.
Smile.
I loved it. I saw it twice. I didn't see Substance twice.
I watched some bits.
You did.
There's that bit at the end.
Yeah, but it was that bit, yeah.
Okay. That's cool then.
And the other rank. What?
So Substance is number 1, and Smile is number 2. If you're happy with that?
Yeah, 100%.
It's only because Smile was just from performances alone and the whole, I mean, it was such a surprise. It's
you don't have to sell it to me, man.
Alright, cool.
At all.
Okay.
It wasn't mine, but my number 2, I don't think it's going to let me have it in the list.
What?
You're going to
put Strange Darling?
Yeah, and this is what I'm going to have to throw that out. That isn't a lot of people's top 10 horror. I agree, but I just think it's more of I don't feel that it's. I can't put it in a horror.
It's more of a thriller than a horror, yeah?
I can't put it in horror. Mate, it was one of my favourite movies of the year by a fucking long shot. But honestly, I can't put it in this. I can't put it in this top 10.
I think I would if there wasn't so much more horror films out there. Because I think we have to really be thinking with our horror heads here. And it's Strange Darling.
It's in a lot of people's top 10 horror, and it's really interesting. It's an interesting one, but I know the non-linear storytelling. Obviously, there was some cool fucking blood, but it was more of a fucking. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's like a genre. I don't know what they call it, a genre fucking movie, but it didn't feel like it was balls to the wall horror for me, and I didn't want to put it. That's the reason why it's not. I didn't put it in my top 10, but honourable mention. Well,
I'll definitely be mentioning it. So.
Yeah, but I think that has to get carted out, mate. I'm sorry, I veto.
For me, number 3 is a toss-up between, for me personally, Long Legs or First Omen.
Okay.
Mine's Long Legs, so.
Mine's Long Legs.
Let's go Long Legs then, number 3.
That's easy. Okay. What's my 4? Is probably not going to get in the top 10, but I just put it out there because it's a great bookend for me. So I put Maxine at 4, but I'm willing to.
Sorry. No.
Yes, all right. I'm willing to just that.
I wouldn't even give that an honourable mention, to be fair.
You dick.
That's the biggest disappointment of the year for me.
I mean,
rough.
Biggest disappointment.
Right, Butch.
Not for me. Okay. Fair enough.
I hate everything in it. It's just fucking the ending was shite.
Okay. So then my next one after that is The First Omen. What have you got, Paul?
Well, my next one, the way I did was The Substance, Strange Darling, Long Legs, Smile 2, then I had Heretic, but The First Omen was next. So I'm quite happy putting The First Omen there. Because it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Again, another surprise, considering I think we all went into a thing it was going to be a bag of shite.
Yeah.
Or expecting it to be a bag of shite, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, big bag of dicks I thought it was going to be, so I'm quite glad. What have you got next, Paul?
Well, I obviously Heretic's there, but Heretic would be the next one.
I haven't got that in my top 10.
I'll be honest, I haven't either.
I don't know how you can. I mean, it was a good, solid movie when we discussed it, but a top 10.
Can I ask you a question?
Hugh Grant's performance was outstanding. It was original.
All right, then we'll move on. It's fine. I've got some others, I guess, so don't worry about it. My next one after that.
I'm not binning it off completely, but not that high anyway.
It doesn't have to be that high, but definitely it's swimming around the base. And the next one after that I had was Immaculate.
See, again, I haven't got that in my top 10.
I have, but I wouldn't have put it as high because I thought, for me, The First Omen just fucking blew that out of the water because they're so similar, and I can't get away from that fact. But after The First Omen, for me, and I know both of you probably say, it's not, I don't think it's up there, but as a watching experience and like something that blew me away, Mads.
Yeah, well, Mads is next for me, so.
I think that film absolutely fucking amazing.
I had Members Club at 5.
As much as I love that film, I don't know if it's going to hit top 10, man.
Okay, I'd happily put Mads in at 5. That was fucking outstanding. But then
as an experience, it's like fucking hell. This is.
But I had stop motion above Mads.
See, I haven't seen stop motion.
Oh, you bastard! You didn't see it.
I couldn't get time. I just hadn't had time.
That was fucking just ridiculous.
Yeah, I've got stop motion just underneath Mads, so.
I mean, you guys can put it in and talk about it. It's fine.
Well, if you haven't seen it, there's no point, mate.
Let's keep going and we'll see what happens. So Mads, I'm happy for Mads to be 5 because it was fucking it was batshit. I'm just trying to make sure that for the same argument that I did with Strange Darling that I'm not doing for Mads. I'm not really, no, because it was.
No, it's got fucking zombies in it.
Yeah. It's like
true. I was just trying to fucking wreck my brain.
So then next for me, I put Alien Romulus.
But no, if I'm not getting Strange Darling, you're not having Alien Romulus.
Why?
No.
Why?
Because it wasn't very good.
You know what? I'm vetoing it too because you went to the premiere.
You're fucking mental.
Yeah, you can't have cinematic experience for this one. Well, I think, right, Alien Romulus is a mashup of all the other Alien films. I think that's what's got you by the ghoulies about it, right? And it was flashy and it was lovely, but actually it was silly.
Oh, you're a fucking. You need to watch it again, my son. I don't think it's that bad.
It's not. I'm not saying it's that bad, but it's not as. I don't think.
Well,
I liked
it. All right, let's move on because we're talking bollocks now.
Okay, I've got.
So Alien Romulus not even in the top 10 then?
Well, we'll see what other ones you have because I'm out at the minute. I've only got one more.
Really?
So yeah.
Well, okay. I really enjoyed Speak No Evil.
I didn't want to put it in because it was a remake. I know what you mean though. McAvoy was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I know you guys have probably got on your list, but I didn't really dig it, but that much. And I was really excited for this one, but Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, I've got a Late Night.
I wasn't really that impressed.
I reckon that's on a outside the top 10. Yeah,
really? I loved it. I just fucking.
It was good fun. It wasn't great, though, was it?
For me, it was just.
I waited for that for so long, and I just think I built myself up.
Maybe like okay. Well, if I'm not having Late Night with the Devil, then I'll have VHS Beyond. In a Violent Nature.
Well, are we not putting Immaculate in there at all then? Because you both loved that Immaculate.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. It was better than VHS Beyond. And I tell you what,
Baby Smash.
If you wanted to Speak No Evil in there, then you got to have Strange Darling in there as well.
All right, okay, veto that.
I mean, I disagree. I disagree completely.
Should we say 6 Immaculate then?
I'm having an argument with Paul about fucking. I'd have Speak No Evil in over Strange Darling as a horror, because it's more about isolation. It's more about kidnapping. I don't know. It's got more horror elements than Strange Darling. Strange Darling was like, I can't put it in a fucking. I can't put it in a hole. That's what's annoying. I can't put it in a hole. I can't put it in like a genre. I don't think I can put it in a genre. I don't know if that means I put it in a thriller. So then you put Speak No Evil is probably edging on a thriller, but there's horrific moments. What's the horrific moment in Strange Darling? Give me, because I can't. You can have
I
to
think
give
the
me
Strange Darling. The problem with Strange Darling is that it's like watching a Tarantino movie, isn't it?
It's
like,
slick. It was really slick. And okay, there were like moments in the house and stuff like that with the gunshots. And then that's why you're fucking saying Speak No Evil. But he was a fucking tormenting figure. There was an antagonist and a protagonist, and it was thrown, and that was like twisting it about.
She was a bit of a fucking crazy person.
Yeah, she was a crazy person, but she was more grounded. And then the death at the end. I don't know, man. Fighting with that. Okay.
But to be fair to Speak No Evil, right? Again, didn't expect much from that. I didn't get on with it as much as you guys. At the end, for me, spoiled it. So I.
But then again, we were going into that thinking it's going to be a big pile of dicks.
100%.
The original.
100%, much better than it ever had any right to be. Essentially,
but I think I said this on the episode as well. Ask yourself that question: if it wasn't McAvoy in that role, would it have been as good?
No,
maybe not.
Okay, so I think after Mads, I'm happy with Immaculate after Mads.
Yeah.
Paul.
So the only one I've got left in my list is that I really, really enjoyed was Abigail.
So I've got that at number 10.
Yeah. So, and then we've got Terrifier 3, Quiet Place Day 1, Late Night with the Devil.
And then Heretic as well to mention. So
Heretic, I don't mind putting Heretic in the top 10 if you guys want. I enjoyed it.
The only one we haven't discussed.
Anything we're forgetting?
Coffee Table.
Nope. So you've had yours, I've got mine.
Really?
Yeah. You can talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about it.
The Invisible Raptor as well.
Or Members Club.
But if you're having Strange Darling, then I'm having Bookworm.
By the way, Matt, your favourite movie of Fright Fest is on Amazon right now, Survive. So
I know.
And Bookworm is on there as well.
Bookworm's on there for $1.99, or you can buy it for like $2.49.
Probably won't.
Really? Jesus.
I really like Bookworm. I'm going to get Monroe to watch it because I think she'll love it.
I think if we got 3 spaces left,
Alien Romulus, yep.
Heretic.
Stop
motion, I want to put in there. I just think...
I haven't seen it.
I know you haven't. It's so original, though. Okay, we can talk about it on... So if we saw that...
I won't...
So then, after Immaculate...
Heretic.
And then what? Speak No Evil? And then Strange Darling? I don't know.
If you want to put Alien Romulus in, put it in. But
No.
The highest it's going to be is number 9. Alright?
So what else do we have?
Terrifier 3, Quiet Place Day 1, that you guys obviously didn't like, Abigail and Late Night with the Devil. But I wasn't really a massive fan of Late Night with the Devil. I thought it was alright. I just don't think it's top 10 quality for me.
Did you put Maxine above Late Night with the Devil?
No.
Okay. What about Night Swim? Imaginary?
Survive will go above both of those.
What about Members Club?
We can put Members Club in there because we did really enjoy that and it was good fun.
Yeah, I'm happy with this club would be amazing, yeah.
Well, how about we put Abigail at 9, and then we put Independent, fucking, Members Club in at 10.
What are you gonna have as 8 then?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Heretic 7.
Abigail at 8.
Abigail at 8.
That's on performances. And then 9. Oh shit, yeah, we got room for another one.
Alright, so put Members Club and put Alien Romulus. Because I haven't got anything that's going to shove it in away, unless you want to put Speak No Evil in.
Well, I'll
throw a spanner
Well, yeah, that's right. You are a spanner.
Kill of the year. Come on.
It is Kill of the Year, 100%, but the rest of it was just boring.
Yeah, it's a bit meh. Very slow, very slow.
Okay, so Members Club at 10, and then we have got one for 9.
What about 8? What about 8?
I thought we had Abigail at 8.
Abigail at 8, right, okay. I've
Unless...
just got Members Club at 8.
And then Members Club at 10, and then one for 9, which for me is... Okay, so you've got Anthology, VHS Beyond. You've got Strange Darling that we could put in there if we feel...
If you want to put... It's got to go in higher than that, though. So just leave it out.
Why?
Well, because it's better than... It's better than...
Not better than Alien Romulus.
Fuck off.
Oh, this is going to be... Okay.
So what we got... We got Speak No Evil as a no.
Let's put Speak No Evil in. That's. I'd happily have that as a no.
Paul's not happy. I can see. Unless you swap Immaculate out and put Strange Darling in, and put Immaculate at 9 and Members Club at 10.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
You happy with that?
That means Strange Darling at 6, and then we can... Okay.
So Strange Darling 6, yeah.
And then Immaculate at what? 7. Heretic, Abigail, Members Club. Heretic
Strange
at 8.
Darling, then Immaculate, then what do we have? Heretic.
Yeah.
Then
Abigail.
So number 10, Members Club. 9, Abigail. 8, Heretic. 7, Immaculate. 6, Strange Darling. 5, Mads. 4, First Omen. 3, Long Legs. 2, Smile 2. And 1, The Substance. I think that's a strong list.
I'm happy with that.